It is time to get caught up with the Cards. This is your I Believe in St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jason Kurtz. Today on the show, Sweeping with the Fishes, Part 2. Waino gets caught up in a sticky situation. And are the Redbirds green with envy after letting Albert land with the Big Blue? Sweeping with the Fishes, Part 2. All right, for the second time this season, the Cardinals sweep the Marlins. That completes the season sweep of their Jupiter, Florida spring training friends. And it comes at a good time because the Cardinals needed some success, having just been swept by their arch rivals, the Chicago Cubs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all close games. And the Cardinals got it done late in each of those, which has not been a strength this season. The Cards have struggled offensively getting production late in games. Monday night, they get 2 in the bottom of the 8th, go up by a count of 4-2 and win it by that margin. Tuesday night, how about Paul Goldschmidt? A dramatic walk-off homer. Great to see him getting off the schneid, so to speak. And then on Wednesday, is there anything better than one more Yadier Molina moment? Is there anything this guy can't do? Laces the base knock down the line inside the third base bag. Goldschmidt scores back-to-back walk-off wins for the Cardinals. They're now back up over 500 and riding a 3-game win streak. So the question is, has Mike Shilt's ship been righted? Well, the short answer is not just yet. Were these 3 wins big? Yep. Do all wins count? Of course. But let's not forget, the Marlins aren't exactly the class of the National League. In the 3 wins, the Cards get only 7 runs, and you're not going to score 2 runs and 1 run and expect to win too many ball games that often. So we'll take the wins. It was great to see Goldie sort of swinging a hot bat. He admittedly had been struggling, and it was nice to see him get it going. Always exciting to see Yadier Molina come through. Can't get enough of that guy. If you listen to the podcast, you know how I feel about Yadi. And the starting pitching was pretty good in the series. Waino pitched well in Monday's game. KK pitched well in game 2. And Johan Oviedo, they think this guy's a blossoming superstar. Not quite there yet, but he's getting better with each start. He looked good today. So the starting pitching is on an upswing. But the Marlins aren't the Cubs. And we saw what the Cubs can do over the weekend. And you got to remember, in their last 2 series with National League Central teams, that's 2 sweeps. 0-3, 0-3, Reds, Cubs. So the Cards are now in 4th place in the division. They're 3.5 games back, and they're 3 games out of the wild card spot. So hardly the position they were in a few weeks ago, but things are looking up slightly. The club is now rolling, and we have ourselves a happy flight down to Atlanta for a series with the Braves. But they're going to need to take care of business in the division if they expect to be around come the fall. And a guy they're going to need to be around come the fall is Jack Flaherty. He's still out, has that oblique situation. There was a bright spot, though. He was on the field before the game. Cameras caught him engaging in some light toss, part of his regular work, they say. He's not doing anything that would irritate that oblique. But it was good to see him out there just doing something in the realm of baseball, and obviously the sooner that guy's back, the better. But the guys are getting healthy. So since we last spoke, Yadi's back. Paul DeJong is back, though he's struggled a little bit. Just 2 hits since returning to the team. One of them was a homer, though. And he booted a ball in the series versus the Cubs that did not help them out. So, guys are getting healthy. Harrison Bader is hopefully right around the corner. And a team that is healing slowly. They're playing a better brand of baseball, and they're finally trending in the right direction, which is saying a lot because they started the month of June just in terrible fashion. Now, we alluded to this off the top. Adam Wainwright caught in a sticky situation. If you follow baseball at all, you have no doubt heard of the controversy surrounding these sticky substances that guys are using, talking about pitchers, of course. It's been a big story the last couple weeks, and it was the Cardinals, actually, that sort of helped kick this thing off. You'll remember in May, Giovanni Gallegos was ejected. Joe West gave him the heave-ho. They found something on his hat. Schilt had a nutty, called it baseball's dirty little secret, and said this was not the time to come down on it. Well, Major League Baseball disagrees. They are coming down on it. Here's the ruling. They announced that any pitchers caught using sticky substances like spider tack, and spider tack, if you're not familiar, it's an adhesive, or as they say in Canada, an adhesive. But it's an adhesive that is popular with weightlifters. So if you get caught using that stuff or anything like it, you're going to be ejected and suspended for 10 games. You know, this is not exactly a new story. If you've seen any of the movies like Naked Gun, Major League, they've alluded to it. Guys have been using stuff to doctor up the baseball for decades. Gaylord Perry, names like that. They're putting saliva on the ball, the old spitball. Guys have had nail files flying out of their back pocket during an investigation on the mound with umpires. And, of course, in Major League, the pitcher says, I just rub a little jalapeno on my nose. It starts running, and then I put that on the ball. That led to the infamous line from Charlie Sheen, quote, "You put snot on the ball?" So guys have been messing with balls forever. It's just reached a new level right now, partially because the guys throw so hard to begin with. The spin rates are now way up. Production of hitters is down, and Major League Baseball has been forced to respond. So as for Waino, look, he got swept up in this thanks to some text messages and a story in Sports Illustrated. He recently dabbled with the stuff in 2019. Now, the concoction that Waino and other guys used came to them via a guy named Bubba. And just as an aside, of course his name was Bubba. Of course it was. But he was working for the Angels at the time, and here's what Waino said this week. What Bubba said is true. I tried it in 2019. Honestly, it didn't work for me, Wainwright said. I tried it. I didn't like it. I got rid of it. Haven't pitched with it in years. He goes on to say, I got nothing to hide. If it gets me in trouble because I did it years ago, then so be it. But I pitched without it for however many years that is until 2019, and I've pitched with it however many years since 2019. So I've got nothing to hide. You can check my glove. You can check my hat. You can watch me like a hawk all game long. You'll never see me with any of that stuff on me ever. I got nothing to hide. I feel good about that. First things first, cheating is cheating. You got to call it out. Is it big cheating? Is it little cheating? Is it part of the game? Is it outside the lines? I'm not sure. There's going to be a lot more to come on this topic. Is it akin to the steroids, guys? Bonds, Clemens, Sosa, McGuire? I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. It's something different. It's something designed to give you a competitive advantage, and it's not allowed. So it's cheating. You gotta say that right up front. But what I do like is Waino copping to it. The worst thing you can do in anything is lie about it. I used to work with a guy, high-profile TV guy, and he was like, listen, you just can't lie. Do what you're going to do. You get a DUI, sleep with your intern, what have you. But you just can't lie. It looks so bad when you lie, and it really does. Personally, I'm glad that Waino owned up to it. Are there more names that we're going to hear? Guys that have retired, guys that were studs, and their legacies will now be slightly tarnished. They'll lose a little shine. I think so. But for now, Waino got out in front of it. I think that was the smart move. And his skipper agreed. Here's Mike Shildt. Don't you appreciate a man of integrity, Shildt said. I give him, again, so much credit. He tried it, didn't do anything for him, and he could easily try to alibi his way out of it. No one's perfect, but if you stand up for yourselves and say what's right, and he did it, I'm proud of him. I'm with Shildt right there. If you listen to this podcast at all, you know I love Waino. I think he's the ultimate Cardinal, the ultimate winner, the ultimate teammate. So this stings a little bit. You never want to hear that one of your favorite guys was involved in something that was not okay. It's like Yankee fans hearing something less than positive about Derek Jeter. It hurts. But we have to remember, this is a competitive, cutthroat business. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of pride at stake. Guys are always looking for an edge. So to learn that Waino gave it a whirl, especially when his career has sort of moved into the ninth inning, so to speak, and his natural gifts aren't what they once were, it's probably not all that surprising. It's tough to hear, but I like how he got out in front of it, and I think this is not the last we are going to hear about spider tack and the sticky situation that Major League Baseball is now involved in. Finally, are the Cardinals green with envy after allowing Albert Pujols to end up in Dodger blue. You guys got all over me a few weeks ago when I got excited about the chance at a St. Louis return for Albert. He said he was washed up. He had nothing left. He had no value as an off-the-bench bat, as a pinch hitter. I'm just going to run some numbers at you. Since joining the Dodgers, Albert, 23 games, 66 at-bats. Now, I understand he would never have gotten 66 at-bats with the Cardinals because he's played some first base in L.A., and he's not going to take any time away from Goldie unless Goldie needs a day off or, God forbid, got hurt. So he wouldn't get 66 at-bats. But in those 66 at-bats, he has 18 hits, 5 homers, 13 runs batted. It's not nothing. You know, on the season, Matt Carpenter, who's often called on to pinch hit, he's been much better lately, okay? But he only has 19 hits total, right? You know, I'm not saying the Cardinals should have got Albert Pujols when they could have. I'm just saying the Cardinals should have got Albert Pujols when they could have. He would have looked great coming back to St. Louis to wrap up the career. And also not for nothing. How about a great veteran voice to help lead a club when they're scuffling, when they're getting swept by the Reds and the Cubs in the division? I'm sure Albert could have sort of helped some of the younger guys through that, and he certainly would put butts in seats at Busch, which is, never a bad thing. But he's in L.A., so, I just hope that he doesn't kill the Cardinals in a big game down the stretch, because that would not look so good for John Mozeliak and company. Okay, that is it for this week, and a big announcement for next week. We will have ourselves a very special guest, first guest of the season, huge Redbirds fan. This guy loves baseball, loves to talk Cardinals. It should be a lot of fun. But until that time, I am Jason Kurtz. This is your Believe St. Louis Cardinals podcast. And one more time for the folks in the back, #GoRedbirds.